here at Wilderspool. The match takes on added significance after the weekend's results. Leeds 40, Sheffield 16, Wakefield 8, Bradford 36. Those two games played on Friday. Earlier today, Castleford 38, Salford 10, Halifax 35, Gateshead 14, Hull Sharks 17, Huddersfield Giants 26, and St Helens 22, London Broncos 24. The first win of any kind by the London Broncos over the Saints. So coming into this game, it's the last of round 18. This is the way the table stands. Bradford on top, 2 points clear of Leeds. Saints are a further point behind. Then it's Castleford and Wigan. Wigan will go fourth if they win. Warrington will be right in the race if they are victorious. It'll be 7 clubs into 5 places. This is the way the two sides line up. Lee Penny is at full-back for Warrington. Mark Forster, Jonathan Roper, Toa Koe-Love, the game's top scorer, and Alan Hunt. Scott Wilson and Lee Breers at half-back. And the forwards, Gary Chambers, Danny Farrer, Danny Nutley, Simon Gillies, the captain, Dean Busby, Ian Knott. And on the substitutes bench, Steve McCurry returns, Dean Hanger, Warren Stevens, and Michael Wainwright. The coach is Darrell van der Velde. Now Wigan, they're unchanged from last week for the very first time this season. Chris Radlinski at full-back, Jason Robinson, Danny Moore, Gary Connolly and Phil Jones, Greg Florimo and Tony Smith. Up front, it's Neil Cowie, John Clark, Terry O'Connor, Dennis Betts, Mick Cassidy, and significantly for Wigan, Andy Farrell is back, the loose forward and captain. And on the bench, Tony Mestrov, Simon Horton, Lee Gilmore and young Mark Smith. The coach, of course, these days is the Great Britain team boss, Andy Goodway. This is the scene inside the Warrington dressing room. Darrell van der Velde, the coach, issuing last-minute instructions. He knows how important this game is. They must start beating the sides above them if they are to make the end-of-season playoffs. 2 wins from 2 under Andy Goodway for Wigan. They have their sights set on the top 3. Out they come. Wigan over the past 10 years have won 11 out of 12 visits here in League and Cup. And they beat Warrington 24 points to 10 at Central Park earlier this year. So Wigan emerge, and it's great from a Wigan point of view to see Andy Farrell back in the side. And supporters have travelled here in high hopes that 4th place will be theirs tonight, and at the end of the season they'll be in the vital top 3. Farrell needs just 1 point for 1,500 in his glittering career. He's only 24 years of age. Well, Warrington have only beaten Castleford and Gateshead at home of the sides ahead of them on the league ladder. The last win against Wigan, only 1 at home in the past 10 years, March 1997. John Dorahy had departed. Alex Murphy and current assistant coach Paul Cullen coached a 35-24 win. And Nigel Wangener that day ran in a hat-trick. It's that sort of performance that the Warrington Wolves need tonight to stay in contention for the top 5. Simon Gillies leads the Wolves onto the field, and quite a welcome from their supporters here. I think, Steve-O, the fans know how important this game is as well.
They realise this will be the last throw of the dice. Darrell van der Velde takes his position high up into the stand there. I'm sure he will have them all fired up for this. I spoke to Peter Deakin just an hour before kick-off. He said that the atmosphere here amongst the players was very positive indeed, and it will have to be against a Wigan side who have only conceded 33 tries. But Warrington's problem, they have scored 73, but on the downside they have conceded 70. Not good reading.
Yes, a total contrast in styles as the referee Steve Ganson prepares to get this game underway. Andy Goodway's men have the tightest defence in Super League. We're underway. Warrington charging downfield to greet Neil Cowie, and Danny Nutley gets the first tackle of the match in. Great atmosphere inside Wilderspool tonight. It is always special, of course, when Warrington and Wigan tangle. There's not too many miles separating the two towns, but there has been over the past 10 years certainly a gulf in class between the two. But Warrington believe that maybe they are closing that gap now. Andy Farrell takes the fourth tackle in the opening set of 6. Young John Clark was the dummy half. Great chasing by Warrington. Good stiff tackle on Dennis Betts. He struggles to his feet. Clark then gives it to Forimo, and Forimo pumps the ball downfield. And Mark Forster will collect it on the bounce. And here comes the first Warrington attack. The head-to-head between these two mirrors the gulf in class between them. Wigan 17 wins here at Wilderspool. Warrington only 7.
Silly penalty be given away, but it proves that the referee, Steve Ganson, will have none of this. We have said over the past 4 or 5 weeks that it has become a blight on our game. There's the man who was penalised, Neil Cowie. And it's important that Warrington, especially their forwards, lay the platform. They have struggled, especially late in the game. But if they can keep going for the full 80, they've got to be in with a great chance.
Darrell van der Velde said training's been very good this week at Warrington. They're really looking forward to the challenge. And that's Gary Chambers, the prop forward, and it looks like he's taken a bang. This is Ian Knott now, driving it into within 10 metres of the Wigan posts. Let's say the pitch here at Wilderspool looking perfect as Wilson stabs the ball a little rapidly, it must say into touch and goal.
Well, the option was there. He knew that Mark Forster was steaming down on the right wing, but far too strong. The Australian will be disappointed with that. But it just shows that the Wolves, they're eager to split open this Wigan defence, as you mentioned, Eddie. The best in Super League, only 33 conceded. And it's a kicking game that I'm sure that Warrington will have to utilise tonight.
Gary Chambers has got a cut on his head early in this match, so he might be on his way to the blood bin shortly. Meanwhile, this is his opposite, Neil Cowie, driving it to within a few metres of the halfway line. Now it's with Tony Smith. Good movement here from Wigan, led by Andy Farrell. Good tackle, though, from Lee Penny.
Beautiful play by the loose forward. Came on the arc.
And Penny is penalised.
Well, the message is quite clear now. Ganson has given one from either side. You can see the fullback went all over the Wigan captain.
Penny was holding down, and also coming over the top was Scott Wilson. But Lee Penny, the man penalised in the opening 3 minutes.
Well, I get the impression that Steve Ganson, the official tonight, will certainly be dipping into the pocket if they do not take any notice of these 2 early penalties. There's the official, Steve Ganson. He really has not stopped yapping to all the players. Got plenty to say, and as long as it's positive and he gets his way.
That's the angle that Phil Jones has for this penalty. Interesting that Jones is continuing with the kicking despite the fact that Andy Farrell is on the field tonight. Obviously a problem still with Farrell's ankle.
Well, remember, he injured it badly when he was taking a penalty kick that kept him out for quite some time.
Jones then with the opportunity for first points of the evening, and Phil Jones gets Wigan's first 2 points. Warrington 0, Wigan 2.
Always a good confidence booster, especially early in the game. Connected well, didn't he, Phil Jones? For such a very slight player, he really has got plenty of weight behind that boot. That sailed high over the crossbar. Talking of high, there you see the weird kick-off.
Yes, it's a very tall kicking tee. But I must say, Steve-O, I've not seen this Wilderspool Stadium looking as trim as it is today. The pitch is an absolute testament to the groundsman here, the new man in charge, Mel Jones. He has worked so hard this week in getting the pitch in this perfect condition for this important match.
Well, for many years it looked like a sand bowl, didn't it? But not today. The high shot will show lots of greenery. What a break!
Andy Farrell. Penny at him. Chambers in the blood bin as we suspected, and Warren Stevens is on.
Good
This now
work.
is Tony Smith. He finds Mick Cassidy. Good flying tackle on him. Danny Moore is off as well. He's in the blood bin, and Lee Gilmore has replaced him. So it's that sort of game already.
Just a little bit too far there.
Right, we've got 2 men in the blood bin, and Bill Arthur can give us the casualty news.
Well, as you said, Eddie, it's that sort of game already, demonstrating the ferocity of these early exchanges, with Danny Moore coming off with what looked like a nasty gash over his left eyebrow, and he's gone straight away to have stitches. Gary Chambers has got a cut on the top of his head as well. The claret flowing from that one, so the medical teams on both sides busy already.
Penalty for offside against Wigan at this play of the ball.
Had plenty to select, didn't he? Steve Ganson must have had about 8 of the Wigan players well and truly in front.
Farrer restarts then, and the drive from Warren Stevens, substitute in the last 2 matches. Farrer at dummy half to Wilson. Ooh, that could have been a shade forward to Nutley.
Yeah, the prop forward just took a stride too many. Looked to be in front when the ball was passed.
Here's Gillies to Breers, good ball from him. On the charge was Roper, but stern defence from Florimo and from Farrell. Farrer again, Nutley. Immediately he claimed that ball. He was clobbered by Dennis Betts.
Well, that'll be a penalty.
It is.
Interference. Betts just the lazy right arm. Irrespective of whether it's lazy or not, he cannot interfere, and as he brought it away, the ball came with his arm.
Well, he did. He pulled it straight out there. Well, he did.
Referee Ganson explaining to Dennis Betts the reason why.
So opportunity here for Lee Breers to level the scores for Darrell van der Velde's men. The Warrington coach, he really looks as though he doesn't enjoy his work, does he, for 80 minutes on match days? But he is such an enthusiast. Referee wants Wigan to stand back 10 metres from this kick. They didn't, but it didn't matter to Lee Breers. The scores are level here at Wilderspool. The boot of Breers and the boot of Phil Jones.
Well, I'm sure that both coaches, including Andy Goodway, will be getting the message out to the players that this referee, Steve Ganson, really means business. It's always nice to see an official stamp his authority early.
4 penalties in the opening 8 minutes.
Let's hope that the players respond to it now. Stop messing around at the play the ball area. As we said, 4 or 5 weeks, it's become very messy indeed.
Danny Farrer, the man who picks up the kick-off and then picks up the tackle from Cowie and O'Connor. Well, there is one young man today who we won't be able to call a young man anymore, Steve-O. Colin Welland, a great friend of the sport of rugby league, a big Wigan fan as well, at least his son is. Colin is picking up his pension and his bus pass because he's now 65 years young, and all of us on Sky Sports wish Colin all the very best indeed.
Free bus rides for Colin, eh?
Absolutely, so he'll be able to go to all the games now, FOC.
Oh, unfortunate there. That really was good play by the little halfback Lee Breers. It just didn't bounce for him right. He got to it. He caught Wigan napping. They were very slow to get back.
Colin Weldon will have enjoyed that. He's a Warrington boy, of course, isn't he?
Yeah, look at the opportunity here, and he just as he hit the ground.
Cowie. Breers, terrier-like in the tackle with John Roper and his captain Simon Gillies. Here's Dennis Betts. Gillies went for him, but Betts escaped. Oh, it's Terry O'Connor. My apologies, not Dennis Betts. This is Florimo.
Pretty good defence from the Wolves. They're sliding away, but coming up quickly, trying to force them into one certain area, which is a pretty small one at the moment. It's one-out football from Wigan.
Florimo with the kick downfield. It's a tricky one for Lee Penny, but he positioned himself well. And now the Warrington full-back will run it back. And O'Connor and Cowie in with the tackling again. Farrer at dummy half. The call was from Mark Forster. He's taking on Mick Cassidy. Well, Neil Cowie, as that ball was played, was about 3 metres offside. Cowie and Smith in with the tackle. Farrer to Dean Busby. Forwards trying to tough it out with the Warrington pack.
Pretty solid from both sides, isn't it, the defence?
Wilson to Breers. Breers then to Knott on to Roper. He brushes away from one. Oh, Knott will put boot to ball. It's a chase now. Alan Hunt's after it. Robinson gets there first. Oh, and both players collide with the advertising hoardings. That could have been dangerous. Unfortunately, it looks as though both of them are okay.
Under a lot of pressure here, Robinson.
Referee's handed this on to the video ref, by the way.
I think you'll find that Robinson just kicked the ball from within the in-goal area. Yep.
It'll be a goal line dropout then, this.
Yeah, but Alan Hunt really did apply the pressure. Well, it wasn't the best pass on the inside from the centre, Jonathan Roper, but as it went down, they had enough common sense to kick the ball forward. They knew that Robinson was out of position. This will definitely be a dropout from underneath the sticks. No doubt about the no try. Robinson got to it well before that man, Alan Hunt.
There's no try, goal line dropout, which Wigan have taken. Mark Forster will run the ball back at them again. Well, there was an indication there that John Roper could be a potent threat down the left-hand side for Warrington. And they're working the ball out there now with Gillies if they can, but O'Connor in quickly and Dennis Betts. And here now is Warren Stevens again. He's dragged to the floor and the ball comes out. The ball was stolen by Greg Florimo.
Well, he's having plenty to say to the official, Steve Ganson. Difficult to see there whether perhaps a ball carrier. Well, there was a little bit of interference by the standoff. Scott Wilson. Well, the big fella Stevens certainly felt that. There was a real slam to the ground.
It was. It seemed to dislodge the football, but in the eyes of referee Steve Ganson, Greg Florimo got a finger in there, and that's why Stevens lost the possession. Warrington won't be debating it because this is Breer's opportunity now to give them the lead for the first time. Four goals against Wigan here last year, but only one so far tonight. He knows that was a bad miss.
I'm not so sure that he didn't slip as he started his running to swing the boot away, but went nearer the corner flag than the post.
Okay, ready, Chris.
One good thing is that Breer's at least got the ball dead. So Warrington have it back. Forster again, straight into Lee Gilmore.
Yeah, he slipped just as he was about to make contact.
Come on, boys.
Nutley plays the ball to Farah. Here is Busby now. Farah again. Gillies on to Breers. Here's John Roper. He had to release the ball because Gary Connolly was pushing him ever closer to the touchline. So Wigan have got it back.
There was tremendous work by Gary Connolly. You could see that Roper knew he was headed for the whitewash. He had to release it.
Offside now against Warrington.
Well, he's made his point. This is now the time for the official to start brandishing the yellow card. It's quite obvious that the players are not going to respond to the early promptings of the whistle from Steve Ganson. Ooh, that was a big hit there on Stevens by Terry O'Connor.
Tony Smith on to Florimo, and he showed it to Dennis Betts.
Just couldn't offload there. Well, that's a third break, two from Farrell, now one from Greg Florimo, but they've yet to post a try.
Here's Farrell, who will now post a try. He just ghosted away then from the would-be tackler Dean Busby, and Andy Farrell plunks the ball down. 2 games into the comeback and 2 tries for the Wigan captain. He just ghosted past Dean Busby then as though he wasn't there.
Well, this is his third clean break, Andy Farrell, and it is a superb one. Simple, basic crisscross. See how he brought the man in there. Oh, just fended away Busby. Not the best attempt by the big second rower, Dean Busby, but Farrell will not be complaining. Wonderful balance. See how he just threw the dummy and then fends away with the right arm. A champion rugby league player, this fella.
He certainly is, and that takes him beyond the 1,500 career points now. Just needed 1 point today to pass that milestone. A try against Wakefield, his second of the year, just a week ago. And that's 2 in a row for Andy Farrell. And Andy Goodway, the new Wigan Warriors coach, has yet to taste defeat. Phil Jones then, to try and improve matters. There's his angle. Striking it cleanly tonight. That's beautiful contact from Jones. Phil Jones had his best game against Wakefield last week.
There you see 5 defenders, they have him all covered. They throw the dummy and defend. Busby went far too high, but that is a wonderful individual effort by the Wigan skipper.
8-12, Farrell's try, converted by Phil Jones. 254 points for the Lancashire Lynx last year for the man who currently is occupying the wing berth at Wigan. Florimo lost his footing in almost the same spot there that Lee Breers lost his when he had that attempted penalty kick, and almost immediately Dean Busby goes off, but to the blood bin. But I rather fancy after that poor tackle on Andy Farrell, Darrell van der Velde would have maybe made the change anyway. So it gives the opportunity for Steve McCurry to return to first team duty. And here now is Florimo to Cassidy.
Oh,
big hit by Coelov.
Cassidy, he lined him up, Coelov, and hit him with a beauty.
This is the last tackle. Radlinski's under pressure from Gillies. He got the kick in, good kick too. And it will stand for Alan Hunt. And Hunt now will try and go round Jason Robinson.
This is it, lined him up, hit him with the shoulder. And when the kick and chase was on, Cassidy threw a punch when he was about to run down. He lost his cool. Touch judge never saw it. Neither did the merry whistleblower.
Penny struggles to his feet. Scott Wilson clips the ball over the top.
It's a good
Forster
one too.
is being invited to run. Radlinski, though, is first to it. What a good fullback this fellow is.
Pretty calm and collected. Oh, there's a problem there for Ian Knott. Was there a collision? I think there might have been a clash of heads there.
Well, either that or he
Danny Farrell.
caught the boot, one of the two. Oh,
Yeah,
no,
clash of heads. And I can assure you, Danny Farrell, the hooker, is a pretty tough customer. And the young loose forward, Knott, certainly felt it.
Well, even though they've got the headgear on, that would have been painful.
Well, that probably saved him, Eddie, from an injury far worse.
Farrell, there's nothing wrong with him.
Well, you need an elephant gun, wouldn't you, really? Danny Farrell. He's a rugged fellow. And without being too unkind, he's certainly not the prettiest, is he, in Super League?
Well, he is a hooker, and we know how bereft of good looks some hookers can be, past and present. Florimo, you've gone a little quiet.
Sometimes it's golden.
Now this is Connolly, just over the halfway line. Grappled to the floor by Hunt. Clark. Smith. Farrell. Oh, he's round Farrell. Good job that Gillies was there. Gillies could have been penalised. He had a second snap. Tony Smith dabs the kick over into the corner. But that will run dead in goal. Tony Smith, by the way, tonight making his 60th appearance for Wigan. Only seems 5 minutes when he joined the club, remember?
I can remember a lot of Wigan fans scratching their head and saying, why on earth have we purchased this guy, Tony Smith? Well, has certainly been a great servant to the boys from Central Park. He's made his mark.
Yes, and he and Greg Florimo face an interesting battle for places once the Gavin Clinch work permit arrives and once Chris Chester settles in. Wigan have got the ball back here. Good defence, though, from Roper and Hunt on Gary Connolly.
But that was great defence by Wigan. The ball just popped out just by the ferocity of the two players moving in.
Clark dummy half. Florimo, Tony Smith. Farrell wanted it, but he gave it to Cassidy instead, and he nearly lost it under the challenge from Wilson.
He did well there, Cassidy, to hang on.
Gilmore dummy half, Betts on to Cowie. Cowie, by the way, making his 400th career appearance tonight, and loving every minute of it by the looks of things.
Warrington, their defence is falling off the tackles and not executing them correctly.
Brilliant hands from Wigan. It's with Cassidy. Back it goes to Clark. Here is Farrell. Florimo held on somehow. Gillies got to him.
How on earth did he pick that up? That was unbelievable what Florimo did.
And Farrell wants a one-pointer and gets it. The Warrington supporters claim there was a knock-on in the build-up to that, but I don't think so. And Andy Farrell gets the extra point and Wigan lead 9-2.
Let's get out of it. We've done the raid, we've come this far. Let's go back with a point. Quick thinking. Well, this is where they thought there was a bit of a knock-on, but it did go backwards. Good work there by Cassidy. But how on earth did Florimo take that? That was superb stuff. So good, in fact, it allowed the skipper to add the extra point.
Well, we had John Money on the programme, didn't we, 2 weeks ago, when he had been shown the door by Wigan, or had resigned, depending which newspaper you read. And he said that he believed Wigan would make the top three come the end of the season. Have you seen anything in the opening quarter here that would force you to argue with the former Wigan coach?
Well, I certainly wouldn't doubt any of his words. His record speaks volumes, as they say, and yes, I think that Wigan, though, have been shaky early in the part. They do appear now to really be into top form, especially with Farrell. I mean, that bit of a layoff. Okay, I know it was a leg injury, but he looks a lot fresher now, doesn't he, Farrell?
He does, and Wigan enjoying the better of the possession of this half also. That's not bad defence, though, from Coelho and Wilson. They halted Gilmore long enough for McCurry to come in for the kill. Here is Farrell. He looks eager. He looks fresh, as Steve-O says. And that's the last one for Wigan. Good defence, though, this from Warrington. Radlinski kicking from just outside his own 20. That's a real boomer. And Penny will collect and now run it back. But a great chase from the men in cherry and white, led by Greg Florimo.
Well, I'm not so sure that Lee Penny did the right thing there. That ball really was gathering speed. Took the correct option, I suppose, as far as he was concerned, but looked far too long from Radlinski. It was a massive kick.
McCurry's lost it. Great pressure put on Steve McCurry by Tony Smith.
Tony Smith was grabbing at the football, and because it went forward, McCurry has been deemed to have knocked on. Well, just a little bit of a hiccup for the Warrington Wolves. They were so strong in the opening 10 minutes. The defence was solid, but then the cracks started to appear. And as we mentioned earlier, that has been their problem. 70 tries already conceded before the kick-off, and of course that's 71 now with that effort from Andy Farrell.
Tony Smith gets possession from the scrum. Florimo to Gilmore. I must say Lee Gilmore is doing it a lot tougher in his second season in Super League. He's got a great reputation now. Handling errors 0 for Wigan, just the one missed tackle. 11 errors by Warrington already. Florimo to Smith. Farrell was the runner. Cassidy ducked under the swinging arm from Coey Love.
Well, that's a second big hit, isn't it?
Here's O'Connor.
Oh,
He loses
lost it. Play on. Oh, he'll play the knock on. Well, the Warrington fans don't like that. Foster was away.
Yes, I think the referee has seen a high shot.
Well, maybe the elbow from Ian Knott. Let's have a look. Yep, the elbow going right into the jaw, and I think this will be put on report. You can see O'Connor grabs at his face.
I'm not entirely sure because he lost the football as well. So I'm going to go with a knock-on. Just to put my mind at rest, I want the incident on report. No further action, okay? I want the captain of Wigan. Andy Farrell, rather speak to you on your own. Come here, man. Nothing to do with him.
He's not going to penalise him. I think we've gathered that much. They'll go with the knock-on. But the incident will go on report.
But I wasn't happy about him leading. But he lost the ball before he led. So it's on report. Sir Edinburgh, no. Okay?
Well, that amazes me. If he's going to put him on report, and then he lets him have head and feet.
He's gone with a knock on, and he's not convinced in his own mind. You heard that. He ruled that the ball had been lost actually before the hit. That's why he's gone that way. But I'm with you. If he puts a man on report for an incident he thinks he's seen, surely it should be a penalty.
It's dead right. Spot on.
This is Nutley.
Well, that might spice things up. The crowd are baying for blood, and I think they may be satisfied soon. It's a 40-20 attempt.
That's a great kick from Breers, that. Now a big smile on Lee Breers' face.
Quite amazing.
To Warrington.
We mentioned earlier when Phil Jones was taking the kick. This is the replay. Lee Breers is not a big man, but he certainly has so much power.
He's one of the kings of the 40-20 kicks in Super League this year, Lee Breers.
He gave himself plenty of room, didn't he?
That ball never got in. It was kicked away by the Wigan player.
I think Cowie struck at it, didn't he?
Yes. Breers and Wilson on the run around.
Good work there by Greg Florimo. He was not going to be deceived by the dummy run and coming back on the inside.
Oh, O'Connor then. That was a bit of afters. Breers, Wilson showed it to McCurry, went for the gap, and Wigan scrambled back to haul him down. They're camped in front of the Wigan posts. It's with Breers again, back on the inside.
That looked forward to Stevens. That one really was delayed.
Stevens gets up, plays it to Farah. Farah will come this way again to Wilson. He will stab it through. Good clearing up by Radlinski. Bravery too from the Wigan fullback.
This is why he's the best in the business. Read it so perfectly. But a nice option there by Scott Wilson, realising that this Wigan defence is pretty solid. We'll break them down with a kick. It's the only way to confuse them.
They've tried it 4 times.
4 already.
Now then, Tony Smith.
That's good work from the little halfback. Valuable metres forward. Makes the kick.
Florimo was under pressure. That went down the middle, and Lee Penny will run it back again. Waiting for him is Gary Connolly. Alan Hunt from dummy half.
Oh, big hit again.
Here's Roper.
This is turning out into a real bruiser of a match.
It's never anything else when these two get on the park. This is McCurry with the run. Steve McCurry, who made his debut as a 16-year-old for Widnes against Wigan in 1990. Danny Farah with the chip over the top, looking for Forster. And Radlinski knocked that touch in goal, so that'll be a drop out under the sticks.
Beautiful work from the hooker there. I'm afraid the youngster Jones in a lot of trouble, and Radlinski came to the rescue and then just had a little glance at the young wingman.
Danny Moore with headgear and a few stitches in the head, 10 apparently, 10 stitches, but willing and wanting to return to the fray. Will have a mighty headache. Terry O'Connor has been withdrawn by Andy Goodway, and Tony Mestrov comes on, the marathon man of Super League.
That's a wise thing from the new Wigan coach, Andy Goodway.
What a dropout that was, by the way, Steve-O, from underneath their own post. They got to the 20-metre mark in the Warrington half of the field. That's an 80-metre dropout.
Amazing, wasn't it? Just about to mention, though, the fact that good work by the coach, bringing off Terry O'Connor. We saw that he appeared to be losing his cool after he'd taken that big hit from Ian Knott. 2 swinging arms on a couple of occasions.
Well, that's got to be a penalty.
Yeah. You've got to get out of the area.
Danny Farrell has got a ton of experience, and Andy Farrell was prostrate, and Farrell ran all over him. Farrell ran all over him.
That's why he got the penalty.
The rule states that once the tackle has been completed, you must roll away. You can't stay in that area where the man in possession of the football will bring the ball back into play by the ball. Not too impressed by it all, Andrew Farrell. Andrew Farrell.
I've passed it on to you, Steve.
Oh, dearie me.
Farrell was impeded. Farrell was penalised, and Briers is about to kick.
Anything else that's catching? You have got nice hair, I must say. I wouldn't mind that to be passed along the line.
Briers misses another. Well, that was kickable. It stays at 9-2.
The second one that he's missed, and vital 4 points that have gone astray. Really would have kept them in the hunt.
The blood bin reversed by Andy Goodway then. Danny Moore's back. Now then, Radlinski to the 20-metre line again, but this time from his own 20-metre line. Caught by Wilson, fed then by him to Nutley, and Nutley slipped before the challenge arrived. Here's Foster. 182 career tries for Mark Foster for Warrington. Remarkable record. One club man, the Warrington number 5. Briers. Ian Knott. Good defence. What a tackle by Florimo. And Darrell van der Velde with 1 or 2 problems to sort out, I fancy, in the next 10 minutes when he gets his players in the dressing room. This is the last tackle for Warrington. Here is Scott Wilson. This is Toa Coe-Love. It's opened up for Coe-Love, but then it was quickly closed by Moore and Cassidy, and they ran it on the power play, and the leading try scorer in Super League was almost through.
Nice set. Robinson, has he got the speed?
Gives it to Radlinski, and Briers with a flying tackle on the Wigan full-back.
Tremendous effort there by Lee Briers. He was in the sweeping position, but he picked out that Robinson would offload. It was a big gamble by Lee Briers, but he came up trumps.
Nobody has played more matches in Super League than the fellow in possession with the football there, Tony Mestrov. John Clark was the dummy half. On to Florimo, on to Tony Smith, back to Andy Farrell. Good defence from Warrington. This is Cowie now. Led with the forearm then on Gillis.
Quick play of the ball. He didn't play that correctly, but I'm saying the quick play of the ball, this will be a penalty for back-chatting. Didn't play correctly and then had a real good go at the referee saying that it was impeded.
Where's Danny Nutley? Wait a minute. Danny, come here 1 minute. Simon.
Well, he was so strong, wasn't he, referee Steve Ganson, early in this match?
If I think you're volunteering to a tackle clearing your own line, I'll penalise you. Now, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt on one, but if you keep... All right, that's why you got the benefit. Just be careful to it.
Good refereeing from Steve Ganson. While the heat of battle had just calmed a moment, he had a word of warning for Danny Nutley and Simon Gillies. If he feels there's any flopping, he will be penalised. Well, that penalty that sailed into the stand here took out a cameraman, 4 sound men, and Steve-O's flask of coffee.
Tea, please. I don't like coffee.
It went right between the boys, and not one of them caught it.
They are quite busy, you know.
Here is Briers. He dabs it to the in-goal area or thereabouts. Oh, Jones has dropped it. Coe-Love, has he dropped that? I think this will be one for the video referee. Did Coe-Love drop it? Or did he get it down? Double check, please, says Steve Ganson. Has Coe-Love come up with try number 18 of the Super League 4?
Well, they did everything right for the youngster. They shielded him away, gave him an easy passage, but this will be TRY time for mine. They peppered Phil Jones. He is a bit of a problem. It was into the sun that he was jumping, but you could see there that Moore and Radlinski, no doubt in my mind that that's tries.
Yes, it is. Well, that's our opinion. We're not the video referee.
He agrees. He knows.
Van der Velde's hoping.
No, he knows.
I don't think Andy Goodway knows what this will be. And the try is given to Warrington. Well, how expansive will those kicks that Lee Breers has missed be seen to be at the end of this match?
Well, the option was there. We knew that they would pepper this youngster Phil Jones, who is a bit dodgy, but look at that. They did everything right. Bradlinski and Moore, they shielded him. There was no one within cooing of Warrington player to apply the pressure. There's the shield, everything right. Made a right meal of it. Toa Koilov gets Warrington well and truly back into this match.
Indeed so. Now Breers, he's missed with a couple of easy ones and he's missed with a difficult one. Oh dear, he's not kicking well tonight. 40-20 King, but not so with the place kicks. Had he connected, Warrington would be ahead, as it is they're 3 points adrift.
Well, you can see the expression on his face. It's quite disturbed. It was a beautiful kick. Look at the defenders. They did it right. Apart from young Jones, failed to take it.
Toa Koilov.
Oh, dearie me. Stevens has come up with an almighty error from the kickoff.
Lost the ball. It will be a drop out from underneath the Warrington posts.
Well, it was a gamble, and Stevens made a meal of it. Not as expensive, perhaps, as the mistake that we just saw a couple of moments ago with Phil Jones.
Toa Koilov tries in 7 games in a row now, and in that sequence 10 tries. He is Super League's top marksman. Oh, and now, well, what a catalogue of errors this has been over the past couple of minutes. The dropout went in between 3 Wigan players and has found touch. And so it's Warrington's head and feet at the scrum on halfway. Back where we began, fellas.
Breathe a sigh of relief. Mr. Warren Stevens. Well, that is so silly for any side to allow the ball to bounce like that. You've all the time in the world to cover it, and they were extremely lazy there, Wigan.
6 minutes to half-time. Warrington are buoyed by that try from Koilov, and here is McCurry. Pocket battleship.
Pretty difficult to get down, isn't he? Nearly as wide as he is tall.
Farah, and here now is Chambers with the head bandaged. Farah again attacking the short side. Smith and Moore. Koilov, dummy half. From Wilson it goes on to Breers. He stabs it towards Connolly, who comes up with another mistake, but the ball went backwards.
Went right underneath Connolly there, and luckily for Wigan, Robinson was at his attentive best. He had to be too.
Here's Robinson again. Remember the match winner in the inaugural grand final against Leeds at Old Trafford last year. I wonder whether Wigan will be back there again on October the 9th. It's worth pointing out that Wigan have won at least 1 trophy every year since 1983-84, and I, for one, wouldn't bet against them in 1999. Lorimer under great pressure, but he's still got the kick in. That stands up. Betts is after this. Oh, Lee Penny took a gamble, but it came off for him.
Well, they always say never allow the ball to bounce, and Lee Penny will breathe a sigh of relief.
Gillies offloads to Breers. It comes back in field to Chambers. He's on his own. Moore, Betts and Simon Horton with the tackle. Farah gives it a bit of width to McCurry.
Full credit to Warrington. They have rolled the sleeves up, got back into this match. When Farrell burst over for the first try of the game, they were looking extremely confident, were the Warriors. Warrington were missing the tackles, but it's amazing what a try can do for your side.
Yes, they have been lifted, their spirits visibly. Here's Breers again. Shaped a kick, gave it to Koilov, and Koilov has got some pace, and he's not only that, he's got Breers in support, and Breers scores for Warrington. Oh, the referee's checking it on again.
Took my eyes off it for 1 second, just have a look.
I think Lee Breers touched it down and then was pushed dead in goal, but the referee, Steve Ganson, was just unsighted.
No problem.
No, he's not grounded it.
Oh, dearie me.
No, he's all right.
Yeah, just
Oh,
by half an inch. That's all it is.
He was trying to improve the angle for himself.
Now then, does it touch the whitewash?
Look at that toe.
Oh, it could be on the whitewash. Pretty difficult angle, that. Do you give the try scorer the benefit of the doubt?
Well, this will tell us conclusively.
Oh, well, I think you'll have to give him the benefit of the doubt. Half an inch.
A blade of grass. Never mind half an inch. Well, the video referee has seen it.
I'll go for TRY.
Well, Wigan think it's no try. Look at them. Wonder what the video ref says. Get back behind the line, Wigan. The try is given, but it was slide rule. A slide rule decision by the video referee. Tony Brown tonight watched that very, very closely, and he came up with a 4-pointer for Warrington.
Get the ball out wide. They were anticipating the kick. They held back. They thought the Breers were going to pepper Phil Jones yet again. They're having a lot of trouble out that way on the left-hand side. In the centres are Wigan. And he just gets away with it. Just gets it down there. See how he done it? Play with the ball. One of the best centres in the world, Coy Love. Through a beautiful dummy, went screaming through. Good support by this man. Surely won't miss this.
Well, that's why he took the gamble, so as he would improve the angle for himself. Not confident with the boot, and you can tell the little lump. But Warrington have a 12-9 lead here at Wilderspool. Andy Goodway knows that Breer's try was given by the width of a blade of grass and nothing more.
To be fair, it deserved a very, very good 4 points there.
Coy Love is such a destructive runner, isn't he?
Not only that, it was a superb pass by Lee Breers. He done it 2 or 3 times. He anticipated the kick over. Beautiful long pass. Coy Love did the rest. Breers claimed himself a valuable forward.
Well, that has given Warrington such encouragement now right on the stroke of half-time. Their supporters are up and behind them, and Warrington are starting to run strongly, and it's no coincidence, I think, that they have started to punch holes since this fella came on, Steve McCurry.
Well, even if he's not getting through, the mere fact that he's attracting 3 and 4 Wigan defenders, quick play of the ball, you have the opportunity, as we've just seen, with Breer's long pass out wide. You just get that little extra bit on the fringe of the ruck. Gives you the opportunity. Well, Breer's maybe a little bit off form with his goal-kicking attempts today, but you saw there the little grubber.
But his grubber kick has surrendered possession to Warrington and to Wigan, rather, and we all know what the Warriors are like in the last minute of a half. How many times have they scored vital tries at this stage of a contest? They're hunting one here, but Robinson wrestled to the ground by Wilson. John Clark at dummy half. Tony Smith. On it goes to Mestrov.
Well, will we see Farrell running down the blind side? There's nothing better than to do that on the final seconds of the first half. There he is, but that's good defence. Nutley picked him out.
2 tackles left in this set of 6. Smith. That bounced off Florimo. It bounced then, and it's been picked up by Coy Love. Coy Love has got Foster with him, and Foster screaming for the pass, and it never came.
Again, we saw the wonderful balance of Coy Love.
Penalty against Mestrov, and Mestrov's in the bin.
It's about time to
sin bin. Tony Mestrov.
If thou shalt not listen, thou shalt sit on your bottom for 10 minutes.
Is that the commandment according to Steve-O, is it?
That's the commandment according to the yellow card. And rightly so, they are rattled, Wigan.
They are. Now Breers has the opportunity to stretch this lead.
Well, isn't it amazing, Eddie? With about 15 minutes remaining of this first half, Wigan looking confident, full of control. The mistake by Phil Jones. Warrington get that try to Coy Love, and it has really swung around.
Well, 2 from 5, but Breers make sure that Warrington turn round with a 14-9 advantage. He's missed 3. How different it could have been. Warrington 14, Wigan 9 at half-time here in this vital match for the Wolves. They know they have to win. The forwards have toughed it out with Wigan. Wigan were coasting at one stage, 9-2 ahead with 21 minutes gone. But Warrington have dug deep, and since McCurry there has come on, they've looked a different side. It's Warrington 14, Wigan 9 at the break. The great summer of Super League 99 continues, but we've another big week of live cricket coming up here on Sky Sports. 5 games. On Tuesday and Friday, it's the Women's One-Day Internationals between England and India. On Wednesday, it's the 4th round of the NatWest Trophy between Worcestershire and Surrey. And next Saturday and Sunday, it's the semi-finals of the new Super Cup. 5 games coming up in the next week, all live and only here on Sky Sports. As I say, the Super League continues apace in this summer of 99, and Warrington are giving Wigan a real fright. 14 points to 9 they lead at half-time. 2 tries to 1. And the Warrington dressing room, they might be reflecting on what might have been had Lee Breers kicked the 3 goals that he has missed. But they would be well pleased to be 14-9 ahead, because at one stage Wigan looked as though they were going to run away with this match. An absolutely vital game for both these clubs. Wigan want to go 4th. If Warrington win, of course, they will be right in the hunt for the top 5. And it's an important match to the club, not just to the team, but to the development of the club here for their future. And that was the point that was being made to us before the start of the game, both by Darrell van der Velde and the Chief Executive, Peter Deakin. And it looks like, Steve, the players are responding to that.
Well, they certainly have. They dug deep, especially late in that first half. But they got off to a flying start. They really were pretty solid, especially in the forwards. But it was Roper's break on the inside that allowed them to kick through here. And look at that, Robinson just before Hunt came through. And as Eddie was mentioning, it didn't take long for Wigan to start taking control of this game. And the problem that Warrington have is that they do fall off the tackles. There you see Busby fended away with ease. Andy Farrell with the 4 points added to. Quick thinking there by the Wigan skipper. And at that point, it really did look as though Wigan would run away with it. But this wonderful kick, they know that Phil Jones is a problem. Look at that. Redlinski and Moore did everything right to him, and it just popped up. It was a dream try there for Toa Koilov. But look at this man here, Lee Breers. They thought he was going to kick, and the step on this man, Toa Koilov, back on the inside. Extremely fortunate. The little halfback trying to make it a better position, but making that extra yard, perhaps, well, that could have been very, very costly indeed, couldn't it? He wanted to get a little bit closer because his goal kicking, especially through that first half, was not the best. But I'll tell you what, Eddie, he really did make a meal of it. It must have been at least just, what, a quarter of an inch?
Absolutely, there was nothing much in it, was there? But you notice that the sun is beginning to dip behind the stands here at Wilderspool now. Phil Jones was in this very corner when he dropped the ball, and I rather fancy that Andy Goodway will be telling his players now to pepper that corner of the Warrington defence with high kicks whenever they get the opportunity.
Well, I'm sure that Warrington, as we've seen, they've peppered Jones, and I'm sure now that Wigan will do exactly the same to Alan Hunt in this second half, especially very early in the second stanza, because the sun will be dipping way, way behind the stands midway through that second half. But I think what Wigan have to do now is to start all over again. They looked as though they were confident we're going to run away with the game, and I just got the impression they pulled their foot off the gas. I think Andy Goodwell will be going around to the kitchen and saying, hey, come on, we've got to work hard, because this Warrington side really are fired up now.
They certainly are. They're ahead by the 5 points, and I rather fancy that the man of the match is yet to emerge. Whoever the man of the match is will go home with this very handsome wristwatch on his arm tonight. That's the prize for the man of the match. And of course the man of the match in Super League 4 from here on in will be selected by the coaching staff of the losing team. And I wonder who he will be. I wonder which coaching staff will belong to the losing team. You can still be involved though by simply doing that, predicting the coach's choice We want you to phone 0660 10 10 13 with about 20 minutes to go. Win the 2 tickets to the grand final on October the 9th and get your name in the draw for the VIP box at Old Trafford, the Theatre of Dreams, on the night of nights for Super League. Old Trafford on October the 9th. As I said during commentary of that first half, it's 1983-84 since Wigan last failed to win at least one trophy. They won the grand final, of course, last year. This is a big game for them in terms of their ambition to make it to the top 3. But it's a massive match for Warrington, because if they lose here, they really can kiss goodbye to the playoffs. If they win, they're right back in the hunt. They'd like to finish it at half-time. We've got 40 minutes still to go. A reminder of the live international rugby union coming up for you next Saturday morning. New Zealand taking on South Africa in the first match of the 99 Tri-Nation series. Next Saturday morning from 3:30 a.m. on Sky Sports 1. But right now we have Warrington against Wigan from the Super League here on Sky Sports 1. And at half-time, the Warrington Wolves have given Wigan one almighty fright. 9-2 and coasting at the champions midway through the first half, but for the last quarter of the last half of the first half, it's all been Warrington. 2 tries and a couple of goals from Lee Breers. And they're pretty happy, aren't they, about the situation at Warrington? They're doing cartwheels, but Darrell van der Velde settles himself down in the coaching area that he has here and is in contact with his number 1 assistant Paul Cullen on the touchline. And he's watching as Wigan get this second half underway. Warrington ahead by 14 points to 9. Arguably, the most important 40 minutes of the season lie ahead for the Warrington Wolves. Can they hang on to this advantage? Will Wigan come back and claim the victory? And with it, 4th place in the Super League table.
The biggest problem, of course, is that they've not really performed against the top sides in the top 5 positions.
No, that point is not lost on Darrell van der Velde either, by the way.
But they are really in the box seat now, and the man that's just put that kick in, he will be so important for the future of the Warrington Wolves in the second half. Lee Breers.
Good ball from Robinson to Radlinski. Radlinski's found a hole, and Scott Wilson tracked him down. But a great run by the fullback. Jones is the dummy half, and here's Danny Moore now.
Remember, of course, that Wigan still down to 12.
Yes, Tony Mestrov in the sin bin for the first 10 minutes or so of this second half. And Horton hits the deck. Here's Cassidy. He gets Wigan over the halfway line. Clark to Florimo, on to Smith. Misses out Radlinski, misses out Moore, finds Farrell. He brushed away from Cowie Love, but 3 Primrose yellow and blue jerseys arrived, and Florimo will hoist the bomb. Here's a tester for Penny, and Breers got in the way of Connolly, but Connolly has come across, and Penny's made a right mess of it, and Connolly comes up with a try. Connolly was stopped in his tracks by Lee Breers. Emotionless Andy Goodway, just the start that Wigan wanted, and from a mistake from the high kick, as we maybe suggested at half-time, it bounced off the head of Penny, and Connolly got round Breers' challenge and scored.
Well, the ironic thing about this is that the sun has just gone behind the clouds, or should I say the clouds come in front of the sun, and he made a real meal of that. Now, I felt that the referee was about to give a penalty anyway for interference as the kick was put through there. Well, Lee Penny went nowhere near it, did he? Bounced perfectly for the centre, Gary Connolly. That's an easy 4 points. Not only that, Wigan well and truly back in this match so early in the second half.
Just what they wanted, the Wigan Warriors. Gary Connolly's try, and he was being seriously impeded. Well, what on earth will Darrell van der Velde think about that? But Connolly was being seriously impeded by Lee Breers, but he got away from him. Oh, but Phil Jones now has caught the bad kicking disease. So Warrington cling on to the lead, but only just.
There you see in the square, that's Breers. There's a referee, he got a good look at it. And he decided that the play on option, so simple for Connolly. Well, that's a bitter blow. Warrington got back into this match, of course, when it was a Wigan player, Phil Jones, who came up with a mistake. Lee Penny contributes to Wigan a try, a vital one.
Yes, it's game on in the opening 3.5 minutes of the second half. Let's see what was said at half-time. Maybe a bit irrelevant now as far as Van der Velde's concerned. Here's Bill.
It'll certainly please Dr. Goodway, just what the doctor ordered for Wigan, because that's the start that they wanted to the second half. They were looking to up the tempo in all areas of the game. The feeling was that they had just dropped off maybe a little bit towards the end of that first 40 and looking to come roaring out of their traps at Warrington, which is exactly what they've done, exactly what Warrington coach Darryl van der Velde was anticipating, looking to his men to consolidate on that first 40, especially the last few minutes of the first 40. They've got the advantage with Mestrov Sinbind. They were looking to use that. Well, now they're really going to have to show what they're made of. One area they're looking to exploit maybe is their right-hand side. They feel as though there are 1 or 2 opportunities there on the Wigan left.
Well, we shall see. That, of course, is the wing occupied by Phil Jones. That wasn't played properly. That's got to be a penalty. Here's McCurry.
Well, there's no way in the world that Simon Gill has got a foot to that.
McCurry again, blasting holes down the middle. Mestrov's behind that Warrington player, still in the sin bin. Oh, and that's off the outside of the boot by Breers. That'll bounce out on the full.
Disappointing. A little half-back Lee Breers didn't get the right connection. And they know that the clock is ticking away as Wigan still struggle with 1 man down. They'll be quite happy with Wigan just to play out this set of 6, make sure they've got a good kick and chase game.
Smith back on the inside to Betts. He puts himself about Danny Farrar, doesn't he?
Real workhorse.
Connolly, scorer of the first try this second half. Right on the halfway line. Played the ball to Clark, then on it went to Smith. And he just delayed and delayed, and Warrington were expecting the pass. He makes 10 metres ground. Clark, Cassidy. Penalty against Warrington now. They're all offside. They are conspiring at the moment to their own downfall.
Nutley and Farrar made no attempt to get back. And there you see on the right-hand side, the official, Mr. Ganson. No problems in picking out the prop forward, Danny Nutley. There's the count. And Wigan will be happy, I'm sure, to add 2 points here. This is the reason why I feel that Phil Jones is still out there. He may be a little bit dodgy underneath the high kicks, but as a goal kicker, he's pretty confident, is Phil Jones.
Yes, he's missed the conversion a few minutes ago, but here's his chance to make amends. Second Division Player of the Year last year, Phil Jones. It's on its way. 2 points to the Wigan total. They snatch the lead back. 15-14.
I wonder how long Andy Goodway will keep him out there. I think if it's a tight encounter going into the last 10 minutes, I think they might find that Andy Goodway may replace him.
The big question is just how secure is Andy Farrell's foot injury. Stress fracture, wasn't it? And it's obviously okay to play on, but maybe not to kick with at the moment. Deep kick off from Breers. Radlinski behind his own line. The chasers arrived. Gillies, Chambers and Nutley. Here's Robinson. Wilson with the tackle.
Worked hard as he stand-off, Scott Wilson tonight.
Horton.
More famous for his attacking play, but he really has worked hard in the defence.
Cassidy.
Oh, that could have been deemed as a flop there by Chambers.
Betts, Farrell taking on Breers, Gillies coming in with the reinforcement. Florimo under pressure, and Forster will collect this and run it back. He's had some battles with Wigan in his time. 17 tries against Wigan down the years. And Tony Mestrov's still got over a minute and a half remaining. He's anxious to get back. Wigan now are offside.
Get outside,
And as we've seen quite often during this game, a little bit too eager to get out of the trap.
Is Breers thinking about kicking for goal? No. Remember, of course, that Wigan have still only got 12 men on the field. Mestrov is prowling on the far side, waiting to come back on. There he is. As soon as he gets the nod from the official, he'll be on. Meanwhile, that's Chambers with the first drive. Still down to 12. Breers, on it goes to Nutley. And Cassidy with a good tackle. Still down to 12. Mestrov not yet back on the field as Farah finds Roper. Strength from Roper. Farah. Knock on against the Warrington player, John Roper.
Not the best time to come up with a mistake. There you see. But surely there was interference as well. Farrell and Betts.
Mestrov's back on now, incidentally.
Well, that is a bad mistake. I've seen players penalised to interfering.
John Roper, by the way, is the only...
He's got his arm in between. That'll be a penalty. And you can see Penny, his left arm was right in between the legs. You cannot do that and lift a player. Watch it. That is not allowed in our game anymore, and thankfully so. It is extremely dangerous, apart from the fact it's quite painful.
So Penny is penalised. I was just going to make the point about John Roper, who of course conceded the knock-on in a dangerous situation. He's the only man in the Warrington squad who is included in Andy Goodway's Great Britain train-on party for the Tri-Series. So maybe one or two of these Warrington players out to prove a point to Andy Goodway. This Toa Coe Love was British. Here's Farrell, on to Connolly. Back it goes to Robinson. Oh, and a vital ankle tap. Connolly dummy half. Florimo, on it goes to Farrell. Farrell, long ball to Simon Horton, and Simon Horton almost through. That's the fifth and last. Warrington desperate to keep them out. Smith with a kick to the corner. Another problem for Alan Hunt. But was Gillies offside?
Well, did it come off Hunt? Was he in front of the man?
If it came off Hunt, he must have been offside, surely.
That's a big call by the referee, Steve Ganson. As we said at half-time, no, he got it right.
Came off the Wigan man.
He got it right, well done. Apologies to the official. And now they've given away a silly penalty of Wigan.
Touch judge working in tandem with Steve Ganson gave that decision in Warrington's favour. Then they get the penalty. Now they're in a good position again, and here's Chambers taking on Mestrov, just back out of the sin bin. Farah at dummy half. Nutley's the runner, but Farah's going on his own.
Good work there by the hooker. You could see they're a little bit slow to set up in the first and second markers. Oh!
McCurry held on somehow. Lovely ball back to Coe Love. Desperate defence now from the Wigan Warriors. Farah, out wide it goes to Breers. Oh, Breers. Well, he fooled everybody then, including Lee Penny. This is Coe Love.
Oh, what a great tackle.
He gets the ball over the line, but the referee gives a knock-on. No, he doesn't. He's going to check it with the video referee.
I want to double check, but
his immediate,
I'm sure as it was a knock-on.
His immediate call was knock-on by Coe Love.
Well, it was a big hit from Jones. Tremendous tackle. Now then, is it a double movement? Is the ball carrying arm? Did it hit the deck and stop? That's what we've got to look for now. He did well, did Jones. Looked for all the world he was there, but has the ball been stopped? No doubt about getting the ball down on the second occasion, but at this point, yeah, it's a double movement. There's no momentum, no rolling away. It's a definite movement of the arm. Though I must say, Eddie, I've seen these given. That's where I think that the tackle has been affected. And at that point, that's when... And this, to me, is a double movement. But remember, I am not the video referee. The Wigan players, they're not lining up behind the sticks. He's hoping that it is.
He's hoping it's a try. He is Daryl van der Velde. Toa Koilov watches, as we all do. And a penalty kick to the defence. It was a double movement.
Sigh of relief for Andy Goodway.
Well, the Warrington crowd are going potty at Steve Ganson, but look at this, it is obvious.
It was a magnificent effort by the winger, Phil Jones. He's a hard man to stop. Toa Koilov was really steaming for the line. It was a ball and all collision by Phil Jones that prevented it.
Could be a big tackle that by Jones at the end of this match.
Just make sure Gary knows.
Betts, Otto is taken off.
Well, we criticised him for making that awful mistake that allowed Warrington back into the game, but we must give him exceptionally good credit there. That really was a try saver, wasn't it?
Sure was. Smith to Farrell. Just like Wigan now to break up the other end and rub salt into the wound. Rugby League World, by the way, this week, Wednesday at 8:30 on Sky Sports 3, when we keep tabs on both sides of the Rugby League World, here and Australia. And was that passed off the ground by Danny Moore? It's academic, the argument anyway, because Lee Penny has it back for Warrington.
Well, why did he have to try to offload there? That is foolish play. At a time when they were under the cosh, Warrington really were throwing everything at them, and they need possession, Wigan.
That could have been an interesting call had it resulted in a try.
Certainly brushed the turf, I felt.
Here's Farrer again. Little dummy. Oh, and a big hit. Did the ball go backwards? Referee blows the whistle now and will give the knock on. And tempers are becoming a little frayed out there.
Koilov and the hooker John Clark. Whilst we've got time, there you see Danny Farrer, he's down on his haunches. It was a big tackle by Rudlinski. Spun him around, got him on the back, and you can see that as soon as he made impact, he just couldn't keep control of it. And it slightly has gone forward. Not a lot, enough to convince that it is. Convince the referee Steve Ganson that it's a knock on. This will be head and feed to Wigan. This is where it all started. Took offence to it, but Clark wanted to carry it on. John Clark, the Wigan hooker, you know, Eddie, he really hasn't done much work from the dummy half, and I feel that they need a little bit more of that, Wigan. They are really not testing the Warrington first and second markers enough.
No, that's true. Mark Reber, of course, with a broken arm, but John Clark had displaced him anyway. Getting the vote from Andy Goodway. That was a pretty untidy play, the ball, by Wigan.
Looks like Lee Gilmore's down in the back play. It's hotting up.
It is. Tempers are getting a little frayed around the edges. With the blood bin against Gary Chambers. Big hoof downfield. Forster will pick it up.
Just.
That's why I paused.
Bobbled a bit, didn't it? Good kick and chase though there.
Good match though, isn't it? Wigan just ahead. Such an important night this for Warrington. Important for Wigan too. But for Warrington, if they fail to win here again, it's another one of the clubs above them who have got the better of them. Roper trying to get away from Robinson. Farrer a dummy half. On to Breers. And here's Wainwright. He helps it on to Wilson. Wilson flicks it back and Ian Knott manages to hang on. Dennis Betts comes in with a robust challenge on the last. Now then, Breers, I was going to say he'll hoist the kick, he does. Offside. He's offside, Dennis Betts. It was flicked by a Wigan player, Tony Smith.
Was it though? Did Breers get a fingertip to it first? There's the kick over. Breers, I think, gets a hand to it rather than Tony Smith. Pretty difficult, though, for the referee to make a decision in spur of the moment. It's also difficult for Dennis Betts. He can't hold a board meeting to decide whether he wants to catch it or not. And I think on that slow motion replay, I think you'll find that Breers, maybe not.
I think he's right, the referee, but Andy Farrell was asking him to look at the big screen. Of course, he can't do that.
Oh, it's pretty hard, isn't it?
That's off Smith. So Breers, big kick. 2 points. Radlinski believes that, Lee Breers, I think, knows that that was pretty close. Radlinski believes that didn't go across the H.
Well, he's
he appealed
amazed.
to the touch judge.
He is absolutely amazed.
So is he, by the way.
And I think the man that booked a ball, he won't mind. He knows how important that certainly was to the side. Well, that was interesting, wasn't it? There didn't appear to be any hesitation from the two touch judges.
Andy Goodway, not terribly impressed. Radlinski certainly appealed to the touch judges that that ball had not crossed over the top of the bar. And Lee Breers' reaction actually almost gave him away, didn't it?
So they did. It's always difficult because the ball went higher than, of course, the actual post. Well, it's not easy for the touch judges to make a decision, but they were very confident. Up went the flags in unison.
Yes, they had no doubts whatsoever. So Warrington are back in front, and Coelho has hit this ball at pace. Oh, and he loses the ball, but he hit it at pace. Radlinski clears up for Wigan. Danny Moore, Simon Horton, battle royal here at Wilderspool, and plenty of time for the game to be won and lost. Only a point separating the two sides. Mestrov trying to struggle back to his feet. Clark to Smith, Connolly, Farrell, tackled by Knott. Good job he did as well. Here's Betts, Robinson. Over the top it goes to Radlinski. They've got a man on the overlap, and Radlinski almost through Coelho, but the Warrington Kiwi holds him to the ground by the shirt collar. But Wigan aren't done yet. This is Smith. Back it goes to Farrell, on then to Betts. Here's Cassidy. Now it's Gilmore. This has got the hallmark of a Wigan move. Quick hands, but good Warrington defence.
Certainly was. They weren't going to be sucked into going for Gilmore. They allowed him to come through. He was running across the face of the defence.
Farrell hoists the kick. It's another little tester for Alan Hunt. Hunt has spilled it. Oh, and also it came off the Wigan man.
Well, who got to it first? It appears that Alan Hunt gets fingertips to that, and Warrington have got the head and feed. This really should have been a head and feed the other way around. Quite clear to me that Alan Hunt, well, we knew he was going to be put under pressure, like Phil Jones. Mr. Hunt is not the best in regards to diffusing the high kick.
No, and it was on the last that, so it's the turnover. That's why Warrington got possession without the scrum forming. Here's Forster.
Well, Daniel van der Velde, the Warrington coach, must be thinking to himself, why on heck did we miss those three kicks from Lee Breers? They were all kickable.
Time for your votes for man of the match. 0660 10 10 13. 0660 10 10 13. Put yourself in line for a couple of tickets to the grand final. Coelho hopes that Warrington might be there.
That's got to be a penalty. Well, I don't think the official was looking.
Good ball, Forster. Coelho, it bounced off his head. Oh, and the referee has seen a short, sharp right from Mark Forster.
Well, he took the option. Well, then did Dennis Betts take out Coelho before he got the football? It was just a massage, that's all. Nothing malicious. Just wanted to move his gum shield around a little.
19 minutes remaining. 1 point in it. Betts gets the pass away to Smith, on to Farrell. Here's Gilmore.
They really have tightened their defence, Warrington. It's a good effort for them. Wigan are trying to keep this ball alive. They realise yet again, Robinson is away.
He is, clean break, and he's got Farrell in support. Farrell fancies taking on Alan Hunt on the outside. Beautiful ball back to Gilmore. Knock on by Gilmore. That's a big call from Steve Ganson as well.
Did he take it? The Wigan fans in the crowd. Oh, it's hard to say. This is the break from Robinson. And they really scrambled back. He went for the option. Oh, that's not a knock on. He picked it up on the half volley. That was excellent work by Gilmore.
Well, we've credited him with a handling error because the scrum has been put down, but it wasn't a handling error.
Should have been a mark against Mr. Ganson. It's been a difficult one for the official tonight.
Oh, he's had a good game in fairly difficult circumstances.
Well, he certainly made his mark early, and that's the reason why we're seeing a lot of open football.
Guinness.
What we need.
Back it goes to Roper. The ball went backwards, off the ground to Breers. Here's Warren Stevens. Farah. And here is Danny Nutley.
Oh, Clark went high. He's got to go.
Well, he's got the penalty. Danny Nutley.
Not on the shoulders.
Whack. Here it is. Not a real big impact, but enough to...
Not a haymaker.
No.
High enough for a penalty.
A costly one. It could be. And I just wonder whether Wigan coach Andy Goodway has told John Clark not to run from dummy half, just keep the ball moving away, but they really need someone. They need to be a little bit busier at the play the ball area. We haven't seen much of that. Only when we see Jason Robinson, he's come up off the wing a couple of times and run from the play the ball, but apart from that, we've seen little.
4 from 7 for Breers. Oh, he's missed another, has he? Yes.
Well, there's the pressure getting to it.
4 from 8. What a different story we would be watching here had Breers kicked those 4 goals. As it is, it remains pretty tense.
Well, the hooker, John Clark, would have breathed a big sigh of relief there. Didn't have a ball, now we have 2. Wigan are certainly not rushing to bring this ball back in. They know it's been a hard and tough encounter.
Double change of the forwards, who are slugging it out on both sides, but that change made by Wigan. And there is Cowie, and there is O'Connor straight into the action to tackle Danny Farah. This is Forster.
Discipline will play a big part in this. Giving away silly penalties, trying to keep the arms down.
Wainwright.
Pretty tense out there.
Now next Friday we have Hull against Leeds for you, top against bottom almost. And Canterbury against Melbourne Saturday morning at 10:30 on Sky Sports 3. That Hull Leeds game is interesting because Leeds, although they're going great guns this year, they do have a habit of slipping up at the Boulevard.
Well, they seem to struggle up there, don't they?
Wonder if they will this Friday. Wilson stabs it through. Well cleaned up by Jones again.
Read it well. Came back, anticipated the kick. It's been a good effort.
Oh, that's silly by Warren Stevens. He came in as the 3rd man.
Well, Lee Breers has given him a real mouthful. I said discipline will play its part.
They're trying to push Radlinski over the try line and get the drop out from underneath the post, admittedly, but...
What, with his knees?
Well, he was the 3rd man in. He's been done.
Not only that, he put the knees in.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
This game's hard enough without having to have guys come in and just hit you with the knee when you can't move. Oh, that's a dodgy pass from Neil Cowie.
Came off for him, though. Radlinski again gives it to Robinson. Robinson is such a jack in the box. He was tackled then and he bounced up like a rubber ball.
Well, again, we just see John Clark quite happy, shift the ball away from the dummy half. And that,
Connolly under no pressure, an unforced error, and you don't see many of them from Gary Connolly.
See how he just took his eyes off the football at the vital moment. All the experience in the world not helping him there.
Only 13 handling errors this season, average per match 1.
And that
You've just seen it.
That could have been the unlucky one too.
Penny. He's made 2 tonight, Gary Connolly. And as I say, you don't see him make that many. So Warrington, they are around about 13 minutes away from a famous victory.
Big question, do they go for the draw?
Why should they go for a draw? They're winning.
Sorry, I mean...
What are they going to do, kick a goal the other end?
Yeah, I mean, if we can go there, will they go for the 1 point?
Briers gets over the line. Radlinski didn't get the tackle. Oh,
he's short.
The referee says he's short.
He is.
Back it comes to Wainwright.
Well
he is not through the legs. Alan Hunt.
Well, they were lucky with that.
Oh,
what on earth is that?
It's still in play. Alan Hunt. Well, that was the most unusual back forward I've ever seen. Well, how close was Briers then?
About half an inch. But what good positioning by Steve Ganson. He said he's been the pressure for these players, but he's been the pressure one for the man in the middle. He's handled it well.
Here's Farrell. And Steve Ganson confident enough in his own call there not to go for the screen. John Clark. Now then, a little run from dummy half. Last tackle, good defence here from Warrington.
Oh, they weren't looking for the football.
Farrell hacks it away.
Oh, they've got away.
Love knocks on.
Well, what on earth is going through the minds of some of these players? Andy Goodway probably cannot believe it. 2 players took their eyes off the football, and it was just a wild swing. And Coelho, look at this. Yours, mine, no, bang. And they've got away with it.
They did. It's head and feet at the scrum to Warrington because of Coelho's knock on. It's a Wigan head and feet at the scrum. I'm getting your disease now.
Come on!
Must be the hot weather.
It is.
Oh, dearie me today.
Cowie's put it down. Oh, the referee said that went backwards.
Dearie me today.
Betts.
Well, that was going forward.
It seemed to go forwards and then Cowie kicked it back. Here's Radlinski. There's a man who's not impressed. The Warrington coach is prowling up there. Smith. Cowie up the middle.
Now then,
last
I
one.
can get it right.
Now then, is this a one-pointer on the way from Farrell? Or will Warrington be tempted to go for the own goal? Penny comes up with the goods this time.
It wobbled a bit. There's a big hit. Shoulder charge from Moore. And his eyes on the football at all time. Must have been going through his mind that he came up with that mistake early. In fact, barely seconds after the restart. Up your jumper time now for Warrington.
And O'Connor could have been penalised for the flop then. Here's Wainwright.
Well, you've got to admire the way that this Warrington side really have dug deep. Remember a side that before kick-off had conceded 70 tries, but the way that they've scrambled back and worked for each other has been tremendous. And this guy's had a big game, Lee Briers.
Still the last. Still the last. It hit Dennis Betts on the back of the head. Darrell van der Velde, he's either having problem communicating with the touchline, or there's a wasp in the box.
Well, I think that showed quite clearly why I never wanted to go into coaching.
This is O'Connor again, almost to the halfway. There's just 1 point in it. We're in the last 10 minutes of the match. John Clark is withdrawn by Andy Goodway, and young Mark Smith comes on. 17 years of age. Here he is. And a little scampering run from dummy half.
And that's what's been needed throughout this game. maybe could come too late by Andy Goodway. Should have done that earlier, perhaps.
This is Farrell.
Oh, what a great tackle by Nutley.
Wigan looking for the vital try. Jones loses the possession. Wigan keep hold of it. It's on the last. Smith tried to get the kick in, lost his footing. There's bodies all over. Offside against the Warrington man. He's playing first knock on. Wainwright's lucky. First knock on is against Wigan. Well, the two coaches are having duck eggs on the sideline.
Well, it wasn't the best attempt. It slipped there, Smith.
I think he attempted to kick that, and I think maybe he connected.
Well, where's the knock on?
There.
From the Wigan flag?
No, Smith didn't connect.
He missed it, did he?
Air shot.
Well, at a time when they really needed to punch that ball into the in-goal area. First one of the night.
Well, time's running out for Wigan. Remember, they've lost just once here in the past 10 years. Cometh the hour, Warrington. Cometh the man. Penny's tackled by Connolly.
Well, there's still plenty of time left.
Oh, there is. This match can be won here.
It's really difficult for Warrington. Do they make the decision that Alan Hunt has made there? Just run from dummy half. Just frustrate the Wigan players. Hope that they can get a penalty.
Who's going to win the match? Who is going to be the man of this compelling match? 0660 10 10 13. Vote now. Predict who the losing coach will choose. Remember, if it's a draw, both coaching staffs make their selection and Steve-O has the final say. Wilson's hoofed it out on the full. Oh,
well, you could
frustration.
Hear a big shout saying no. That really should have been right the way down the field.
As it is, it's on halfway, and Warrington with some defending to do again. O'Connor gets to his feet. Smith was the dummy half. Connolly hands it on to Dennis Betts. Betts disappears under the challenge from Gillies, and Gillies lying on. Mark Smith again, dummy half. Here is Cowie, trundling the ball forward. Are they setting for a one-pointer?
Yeah. No, I think they're setting up for a move. Watch for Farrell coming late.
This is Smith. There's Farrell. They watched him all the way. It goes back through his legs. And the referee has wiped the tackle count down. There was a Warrington hand in there.
Oh, that's a pressure decision. Oh, Cowie Love could have been penalised too. They've got to keep calm.
Connolly slips again.
Oh, Nutley has gone on a flop. Right in front of the sticks. Discipline, we said, would be vital. The tackle was completed. What on earth was going through his mind? He's had a big game, Danny Nutley, and that says it all.
Oh.
The door was wobbling somewhat, and that's because the right boot went wham, straight into it. At least I lost my hair just slowly and surely, naturally, not through the pressure that you've just witnessed.
Oh, he's furious, absolutely furious.
And rightly so. Pressure, Andy Goodway, he knows perhaps they may get out of jail here.
Well, minds will be going back to 1994 when Frano Botica kicked a goal here to win the championship for Wigan on this ground. This isn't for the championship, but it's for a vital 2 points, maybe. And Phil Jones has kicked Wigan into the lead again. 17-16. Well, Andy Goodway is absolutely emotionless, but just behind him, the same cannot be said for Darrell van der Velde. He's barking instructions down the system. Short kick-off, and they've found touch. It's going to be Warrington's head and feet. Breer's thinking there.
Smart work there from the little halfback. Really powered that in. Wigan didn't expect it. They thought perhaps it may have been a kick high for the recovery.
Dean Hanger comes on then for the experienced Mark Forster. Breer's busy round the base of the scrum. He finds Penny, who straightens it up. And Connolly and Radlinski, hello.
He's trying to squeeze it.
He's looking for the penalty. Penny. Here's Roper. Still Roper taking on Connolly, getting to within 12 metres.
They're in a good position now.
Breers.
Do they go for one, or do they go to win the game outright?
Nutley's driving it to win the match outright. Farah to Breers. Breers, oh, Wainwright didn't read the script. Danny Moore has got the possession back for Wigan. We're inside the last 5.
Oh, you really have got to feel for Daryl van der Velde. He had just witnessed one of his players drop the football. A few moments before, Nutley did the flop. Jones kicked the goal.
Cassidy for Wigan. It's been an absolutely fantastic effort by both these sides. And it's a match that nobody is leaving here in the stadium because it still is there for the winning. Farrell will hoof this downfield. He's gone for a 40-20, but it went straight up the middle. Dean Hanger now. He's allowed it to bounce hither and thither, and here he goes. Hanger, first touch.
What a great kick, though.
This is a big 4 minutes on the way for Warrington. Their season hangs on the next 4. Hunt.
You can see the Wigan players not wanting to give any penalty away.
Hanger again.
They're out on the feet, some of these players, and it doesn't surprise me.
Good ball from McCurry. This is Wilson. Great tackle again from Jones. Oh, that's a penalty. Now then, what will Lee Breers do? What will Lee Breers do? He's having a look.
Oh, it's a long way. There is no wind to worry him.
He's going to go for it. He's got to, really. He's got to. Now, Lee Breers has not been kicking well. 4 from 8.
Will there be another twist and turn in this? Well, look at that. Jones did all the work, and then Danny Moore just came in. Why on earth he had to come in there in the first place is anybody's business. Now we find the pressure switches to Andy Goodway.
The pressure's on this man. A 50% success rate. Villain all night. This to be a hero. Oh, he's missed it by a mile. He hasn't got it dead, and Robinson will run it back. Robinson will run it back.
Not the best kick from Breers, but great work from Robinson. Disappointment.
Well,
he knows it was nowhere
kicks.
near.
He's missed 5 tonight.
Now it's Wigan's turn to just turn the screw, play out there. Complement of 6.
Oh, Farrell ran straight over the top of Breers. He plays it to Tony Smith. Roper's after him. Roper and Nutley get him. That's the last. Well, Warrington are going to get another chance, providing they're disciplined here, or is... Oh, I was going to say, is Farrell going for a 40-20? Right. Lee Penny with the last chance for Warrington. Mark Smith's only 17, but he did enough then to delay. McCurry on the break.
Good work by Cassidy. Tony Smith is in the sweeping position. Redlinski's just going back now. He knows perhaps it'll be a kick and chase. What a game, what tension.
Fabulous match. Farah with the drive. Lee Breers comes in at dummy half directing operations, and Nutley goes on the charge. Are they going to go for the one-pointer? It's with Lee Breers. He wants the one. He's got the one. Well, he's kicked poorly all night. But when the chips were down then, Lee Breers came up with a 1 point that levels the scores.
And fully deserved. The emotional moments throughout this game. He's been up, then he's been down, but I don't have to explain to you there what mood he is in now. Share of the spoils, perhaps. Surely there's not enough time. Wigan will go for the short kickoff.
Yet another draw in Super League is beckoning, and Steve-O is going to have to make a decision about a possible man of the match. Daryl van der Velde leaves his eyrie here at Wilderspool. 21 seconds on the clock.
He's just been told to go for the short kickoff. Oh, it's a bit too far. It's high.
I think Farrell will settle for the 1 point. He'll settle for the share of the spoils. It's a match Warrington could easily have won. They're not finished yet. This is Wilson, and Wilson has got Coelov in support. There's the full-time siren. We have witnessed another draw here in Super League 4. Lee Breers, I think, knows that his drop goal obviously rescued a point for Warrington in the end. But had he been able to kick as he normally does, he's missed 5 place kicks tonight, Warrington would be very much in the hunt for a place in the top 5. As it is, they still have to battle their way through. But it has been a great game. 17 points all. Dean Hanger on late. Phil Jones and Chris Radlinski heroes for Wigan. But Warrington, I think they will take a lot of comfort from this match. The fact that they've held the champions, but Lee Breers, had he had the shooting boots with him, they would have won the game. Wigan are the champions. At least until October the 9th. This is the moment when Breers got the share of the spoils. It's ended all square at Wilderspool at thrilling 80 minutes. Well, an absolutely compelling match at Wilderspool, ended all square, 17 apiece, and of course that means that both coaching staff had to select a man of the match. And the Warrington coaching staff selected Dennis Betts, the Wigan coaching staff selected Danny Nutley. Steve-O has come down on the side of Danny Nutley, so Danny Nutley wins the Tissot watch as man of the match, and he will go home with that nicely on his wrist this evening. And who amongst you will go to the grand final on October the 9th? Alan Huff from Warrington, a local, who has selected Danny Nutley, needless to say. Well, a great match, 17 all, absolutely fantastic. And Steve-O, Lee Breers, a question of well done, but what might have been?
Yeah, I think there's a mistake-ridden game throughout, but that just shows you the amount of pressure that we have in Super League these days. Those 2 points are vital. Well, they shared the spoils tonight, and I think that both coaches perhaps will go away thinking, well, we still have a lot of work to do. I mentioned through the match, Eddie, that they did not utilise the hooking run. I mean, you've got to run more times from the dummy half. I think they only did 4 the entire game, Wigan, and that was about 10 minutes before the end of the match. It's quite obvious that the Wigan players are taking time to settle into Andy Goodway's style, and Van der Velde, I think we saw a lot of the shots of the coach, and I think he's in a lot of trouble.
Well, let's take a look at the way it's affected the table, and Warrington are still in it, there's no doubt about that, but my word, wouldn't they have been really amongst it had they won. As it is, Wigan and Warrington have fought out a 17-all draw. Now then, where are we going next weekend? Next date with the Super League, Hull Sharks against Leeds at the Boulevard, 7 o'clock, Sky Sports 1. Trust that you have enjoyed this. We've had a whale of a time. Well done to both sides. Till next time, bye-bye. Wigan's first 2 points. Here's Farrell, who would now post a try. He just ghosted away then from the would-be tackler Dean Busby. Coelov, and he dropped that. And the try is given to Warrington. Oh, big hit by Coelov. Some pace, and he's not only that, he's got Breers in support, and Breers scores for Warrington. Connolly has come across, and Penny's made the right mess of it, and Connolly comes with Lee Breers. He wants the one. He's got